So who would you say is slightly favored then?
Honestly, it comes down to who goes first. Um,
Really?
and I also think that the Lycanroc player could be slightly favored because you have Bloodthirsty Eyes as well, and that multi switch will make a big difference. So we're in the finals here, and one big thing to note is that Lee did finally take a loss in top four, did not reach the finals of this one to once again have that Lee Pete elude him. We are going to be here with Kara up against Iyla. We did see this ZoroPod deck that Kara's rocking in the last round, and Iyla again with the ZoroRoc deck. So this is going to be a pretty close and intricate matchup. We were just talking about this before the match, that it comes down to a lot of, who can establish their board and get energy attached first. And this is huge for Kara, getting 2 Wimpods down. Very, very big to establish those so they can evolve into the Golisopod. And getting to go first is big.
Interesting.
I like this parallel, though. I like the parallel city coming down because this is a big play. You see the Wonder Tech from this Lele, so that means that a Bridget here only finds 2 Pokemon unless we have a Blower in hand.
If they held it, I think that they could have dropped it and then Guzma'd whatever one that they discarded the other of, and then killed it with Golisopod.
Yeah, that's interesting, but you can still do it this turn, right? Because now there's only one...
No, it works for this turn. But if they had Counter Stadium or Blower, they could have theoretically done that. It does work better if they only get 2.
And I don't think there is a Counter Stadium. I think I was only playing 1 parallel of their own. And only 2 Blower. I know a lot of these lists at some point opted to play 3 Blowers because of the Parallel City. I think even the Worlds list that Robin won Worlds with this year, I think it actually played 3 Parallel. So...
This is huge. I think they go after... Yeah. It's interesting if they just go after the Zorora here, or if they go over after the Lycanroc. Or the Rockruff.
Yeah, I think you have to take down this Rockruff. And... Oops, dang it, not again. We take down the Rockruff, and you can do it with the ZoroRoc, which is really good. Yeah, I think...
Have that
yeah, and you can get the Golisopod here to protect that Wimpod. Only 1 Golisopod in the deck, but of course Acerola is still a way to stretch that one to multiple turns. And of course you have puzzles to get it back to.
It's interesting that they hold the Lele here. But I think it's probably safe, because if your opponent needs Blower and you already know that they didn't have Blower, but they would have to go Blower, Parallel City, but they would probably have to know your hand most likely to know that you have only the Lele in hand because you didn't search it out. But I think it's fair to hold.
So this is where it becomes a little bit interesting, because now the matchup devolves into Riotous beating back and forth, Energy Denial, Acerola War. There are Enhanced Hammers on both sides. I believe Iyla plays it's 1 Enhanced Hammer and on Isla's side, 2 on Kara's. And
so a lot like Art and Telmir.
Yeah, exactly. There's the Sharon's Care now, and back in this format you had Acerola. Yeah, so, and choosing to discard the Rockruff, interesting. So I wonder if we're just going to go into this, I'm just going to outlast you with ZoroRoc. And, I mean, I guess you needed this, you couldn't have benched the Rockruff because you needed to get the Lele. Interesting.
Do they play the same amount of copies of Sharon's Care or Acerola, I mean?
I don't think so. Actually, they do. Wow. So there is only 1 Acerola on either side. Of course, you do have puzzles to bring them back. And one thing I should note about that as well is if we devolve into this just pure ZoroRoc back and forth, the Golisopod becomes really important because it can attack for basic energy, and the Oranguru that Kara is playing becomes huge to recycle puzzles. So in a long drawn out game that goes to that kind of ZoroRoc back and forth war, it does very much favor Kara and the ZoroPod deck. Interesting. Choose to trade before... I don't know if you would... Do you think you would have just used that Lele to find a draw supporter first, maybe? And then save the trade for the other side of that? Or do you like this trade first?
I think I would have seen a draw supporter first, use it, and then... Because are they going for Acerola this turn?
Ooh.
Oh, looks like they prized one as well.
No,
Or do they only play one?
They only play one. Oh, and the Delinquent could be huge here. Get rid of the hand for Iyla. And this is actually really interesting because if you get rid of Isla's hand, while they can still obviously trade out of this, they have to continually trade the top deck.
The card that they draw, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they top deck like order.
And this gets rid of resource. Oh, wow! That was huge. Get rid of double puzzle and a Guzma. That's huge.
Really good play.
Yeah. And you can hit with the first impression, set up the 2-hit KO. And now both players with 0 cards in hand is hilarious, though.
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever seen that. Yeah, and there's the trade. Trying to build back the hand. But yeah, just being able to deny resources, right? Because again, that play doesn't come down to, oh, I'm going to strand my opponent with 0 cards in hand. It comes down to resource denial, which is huge when these matchups devolve into the ZoroArc Wars. And you see it there, getting rid of double puzzle. That is huge.
That's huge.
But here's the Acerola. So this is going to be a pivotal turn for Kara because you could theoretically find an Acerola. Yeah, you could find the Acerola of your own. You could even find a Guzma to take down that Zorua on the bench. You could put yourself back to even prices. But a Sycamore top deck. Oh my god. And the Enhanced Hammer is found here. Got some great cards. Another ZoroArc. Yeah, this is definitely looking pretty good for Kara. Churning through the deck. The Floatstone found is pretty big here. We have the DCE. You could actually even go in with a Lele if you want. And with that Choice Band in hand, you could set up the 2-hit KO that way, which I actually kind of feel like you might prefer. Of course, you could also play the Enhanced Hammer instead of the 2-hit KO with a ZoroArc, which might be a little bit better. Again, just denying more resources. Yeah, I was like, definitely want to see that Enhanced Hammer get played. And there is the Riotous Beating. And Isla's already down 2 puzzles plus their only copy of Acerola, so this damage should stick. And one thing to mention as well is that the Kara with this ZoroPod deck does also play a copy of Max Potion, so tons of healing available to this ZoroPod deck. Of course, with the use of those puzzles as well, you can get back so much healing and energy denial with the Enhanced Hammer. Wow, and just like that, Iyla concedes. Yeah, a quick one, but I mean, a very well played. Like, that one was quick, but...
that was really well played with the Delinquent. That play was really nice.
All right, well, we're into game 2. And Iyla will get to go first, so this is going to be definitely on them to get their board established, get down to Rockruffs, they really want to get an energy attachment down if they can. Unfortunately, it would have to be a special energy since they only play special energies, which plays into Enhanced Hammer, but I think the big thing is just getting a bunch of, there's the Enhanced Hammer, so speak it into existence. And we get the Bridget, the organic Bridget. Love to see that. Plus a Rockruff. So you can actually get down, 2 Zoruas and another Rockruff here, which is a great opening.
Seems like I see a Bridget every game, like out of both parties, like every time.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Well, we're just calling this shots for Kara. We've called Enhanced Hammer into Bridget now. Wow. Yeah, again, I would have loved to see a little bit more deck searching there, but yeah, this is an incredible opening from Kara. It completely just neutralizes the first turn advantage, really. I mean, of course, you can, evolve these Pokemon now, but the Rockruff not having an energy on it is so huge. I think it's going to come down to the multi-switch play, because now you can put this DCE into play on the active, take the KO, assuming you get the KO. I think the Mallow was played, so you should have that guaranteed. And you could take out a Wimpod in the process and set up for the multi-switch play to take out a Golisopod on the following turn. So pretty good response here as well. And, you know, both decks kind of functioning to their best here. Both players slinging their best back and forth. Good top deck there in the ZoroRoc GX. Lets you potentially trade if you want to before playing this Ultra Ball. You at least have the DCE in hand already, though, so you can put a little bit of pressure out. Even just putting 80 damage on the active would be pretty good. And we'll have to see. Of course, Iyla did use that Mallow last turn. We don't know for sure, and this is why it's very important with sequencing and the way that you play cards, because we don't know for sure that Iyla got Lycanroc DCE off of that Mallow. And you could potentially be thinking, okay, well, maybe they have the multi-switch already. You know, do they have Floatstone multi-switch, Strong Energy in hand, or Double Puzzle to get Mallow again? You know, these kind of things. And not knowing what they took off of Mallow makes a big difference in, you know, changes how you play this turn out around that. And I think that's why you see this N being played, kind of as a nod to that, saying, I don't really know, you could already have your hand stacked off of this Mallow, and I'm going to N to disrupt that. Big Parallel City here, though. So Parallel discarding a Zorua, pretty big, just limiting the bench. Of course, it limits the damage output of ZoroRoc as well. And the Evo Soda comes down, so most likely will... I don't know, do you want to evolve this Golisopod, or would you prefer, since your hand isn't the greatest, maybe you want to go for another ZoroRoc and get some trades? I guess that answers that question, but would you have gone for the Golisopod there?
I think so. Just to make sure that it doesn't get knocked out. But you do get an extra trade. So I could see an argument for both sides, but I think you want to get that Golisopod down so you can save it to make sure. Because your opponent's probably going to want to take a one prizer next turn anyway, because they're already on odd prizes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem, of course, is that since Iyla plays Strong Energy to attack with the Lycanroc, it actually would have gone down to a Dangerous Rogue, since that does hit 220 with the damage buff. So maybe not putting the Golisopod in play means that, you know, you can deny that going down for 2 prizes at least, but it still forces a decent amount of cards out of Iyla. And
yeah, it's better to do the Dangerous Rogue as well, right?
And this is kind of, I don't know how I feel about this either now, because now you're, you know, I guess you take a prize plus top deck, so won't be that bad, but you're just limiting your trade options in the following turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like... Yeah, I'm not sure. A double puzzle here, though, would be pretty big. And promoting the Lycanroc, that's interesting. There are no energy currently in play, so the Dangerous Rogue cannot happen currently. This might just signal a Guzma onto the Zorua play, perhaps? There's the Lele. So we can go grab that second Guzma, and yep, that is going to be the choice. Definitely think we're going to see that target down the Zorua. Does 2 things, obviously, limits the trade options, and it gets rid of that, or puts you back on even prizes. Now, the thing about this, though, is that it activates that counter catcher that's waiting in Kara's hand. So if Kara is able to counter catcher up the Lycanroc and find a Grass Energy this turn, or there's a copy of Rainbow as well, so we have some outs to that to attack with First Impression, we could just see that Lycanroc go down and once again just devolve into that situation we saw in game 1. But you gotta draw it here. Oh, we don't find it. Don't really find much to work with here at all. You can counter catcher to pick off the Zorua on Iyla's bench. Might not be a bad play. Put yourself back to even prizes, of course. I think the counter catcher play here makes a world of sense. It kind of plays around potential Acerola, which would be
Yeah.
unfortunate. Yeah, and there's the play. Counter catcher up that Zorua. Do we attach this DCE knowing that Enhanced Hammer is an option for Iyla?
Yeah, that's super interesting to see this play. So now we're going to go down to even prizes. The prize mapping of this matchup is really interesting because like both players usually have to end up taking one prizer, and then they end up having to like take another one prizer just as default to try to get back to the even number of prizes.
Right.
So it's really interesting how the matchup plays out.
And it's interesting because, you know, when you play Acerola, you can choose to rebench the Pokemon, you know, the Zorua, and Zorua only has 60 HP. It is just a basic non-2 prize Pokemon, so that's the kind of vulnerable turn. And I completely forgot that the Buzzwole was in the deck here, so this could be a huge turn as well if we're able to find a Strong Energy. And there it is right there, the Strong Energy. And this is great for Iyla, because you can get rid of the Parallel. You now have the KO lined up on the active, and you still have energy in play, so you could play into that potential multi-switch play into Dangerous Rogue at some point in the future. Of course, you're not currently taking out the Golisopod, so you would have to bring up that ZoroArc in addition to that, but I think you see that a nod to needing more cards in the next turn with the double puzzle taking back the Zorua, so you can have access to more trades on the coming turn. That was a big turn, though. That Buzzwole really putting in work. Completely forgot that card was even in here, and that really helps to swing the matchup a little bit more back into Iyla's favor, especially in this scenario currently. And there's really no way to deal with this. Like, how do you even approach this Buzzwole at this point? Like, I think you have to just try to gust around it. You might just see this Ultra Ball find a Lele for a Guzma and just take out the Zorua to get off Sledgehammer turn? I mean, what is your play here?
Yeah, the Sledgehammer is really interesting because maybe your opponent can't against this deck going against one prizer, because then they are forced to kind of deal with the Sledgehammer unless they can find Guzma, but they don't have a lot of cards in their hand to be able to really do that effectively, and they can't really take another knockout unless they knock out this Zora. But like, I think maybe that might be their most effective way to do this, actually, is probably killing the Zorua.
Yeah, because you're not taking an KO on the active currently. First Impression is 120, Riotous Beating is 120. I guess you could, like, feed this Wimpod to it, but, like, you're just a single Guzma away.
Yeah. I think I might have Guzma there and killed the Zorua, and then you can finish off the Buzzwole later.
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty much always in danger of that multi-switch play. You know, the energy being in play now, there's too much energy in play. So, and actually, I don't like this play from Kara. But if you don't bench the Wimpod, you're not at risk of losing to Dangerous Rogue. So now you just completely lose a Dangerous Rogue because you benched that fourth Pokemon. So at least not benching the Wimpod, I guess you get access to Acerola. Maybe you're just like, you know what, if they have it, they have it, which I guess is a fine line to take here. But yeah, this is very quickly turning into to Iyla's favor with this Buzzwole putting in so much work in the mirror. So Iyla does not have the game-winning Guzma there. Do have Mallow, though, so now you know for sure that the game is going to be in hand on the following turn. You know, of course, this will be able to set you up for next turn, maybe even find you an additional card for this turn. Being an attachment to the Lycanroc, I guess that's really, like, what else would you want at this point?
Yeah, because you can force an Acerola out. You face Acerola. Yeah, it's tough. Because they could have Guzma'd and won this turn, but they must have not had it. So I think they Sledgehammer here. It forces them to have to.
Ugh.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I would have liked the energy onto the Zora, or not Zora, the Lycanroc.
Yeah.
You can just danger.
I think their logic might be like, are both okay? So both counter catchers are down. Okay, so I think if you put the energy on the Lycanroc, there is a world where Kara could go Acerola, the Golisopod, counter catcher up the Lycanroc and KO it with first impression.
They play 3?
No, but they have puzzles of time. So they have double puzzle in hand, right? So they could KO the Lycanroc this turn, and also Acerola. Of course, if the Buzzwole though, actually no, you would take out the Buzzwole as a threat though because you're taking 2 prizes. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So then they need a multi-switch. I think he has to go. I think they have to go after the Lycanroc this turn then.
Yeah, if you have you go counter catcher. If you can get an Acerola, maybe like counter catcher Ultra Ball. Yeah, and you can play for this Lele, get the Acerola. We know the Acerola is in deck. We definitely saw that. This is going to be a huge play here as well. Taking out the biggest threat in that Lycanroc. And once again, the game swings back away from Iyla. Grab that Lele, the Acerola's in there. We did also have Max Potion, but I think the other Golisopod was prized, so you have to go in with this this one Golisopod. Funny that Golisopod was prized. There was a Golisopod prize both games. But here's the play. Acerola up that Golisopod. Attach to it. Counter catcher up the Lycanroc. And remove the biggest threat from the board. Of course, there are plenty of energy. And one thing that I actually should mention here is another strong energy plus the multi-switch onto that Buzzwole. And Swing Around could actually pick up the KO on the ZoroArc. So we'll see what cards Iyla chose to Mallow for last turn. There is still an immediate win condition available to them. Requires a lot of cards, but we'll see what they have.
Because they can multi-switch into the Buzz, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think... Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, they had Ultra Ball.
So we'd have to see... Again, we have to see a lot of cards here. You need Strong Energy, Multi-Switch, Guzma to take it out. Actually, I think you need... No, it'd be fine with just the double strong. Yeah. Estrogen, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. How was your stream, friend? Hope you had a great stream. Welcome back.
Right?
What's that?
They don't play Diancie.
They do not play Diancie, no. But Swing Around hits 80 plus the 40 guaranteed from the Strong Energy. And wow, we might see the play here. We're lining up for it. Actually, this might just pick it up right away. No, this picks it up with the choice belt band. Oh, there's the multi-switch. Wow. Puzzle of time, yes. Dang. Just nuke this ZoroArc.
8100. I think they did need it, actually.
Well, we go into a game 3. What a game 2 that was. Well, what other way would you want to have it than game 3, ZoroArc Mirror to close out Riley's Retro 12, this 2018 Worlds Format Tournament. That's my streamer. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks, Estrogen. One final game for this tournament, once again, between Kara and Iyla. And after what an incredible back-to-back series of turns in that last game, some really, really next level, combos getting pulled off. And it shows you the raw power of ZoroArc and puzzles and all of the different things that you can pull off with these decks. So... here is the opening turn. Once again, the organic Bridget just waiting in hand. Not much of a follow-up, though.
Really bad other than that, Bridget.
Yeah. You could see the Bridget grabbing a Tapu Lele and attaching a DCE just so we have something to attack with. Streaming 3+ hours, no breaks, I'm fried. Yeah. Organic power. VIP pass players be like... True.
VIP. Iyla for VIP.
Oh my god, that's so dirty. But starting this puzzle is a little bit annoying because you kind of lose the access to that sledgehammer most likely. Although the 130 HP on a single prizer means that it's probably not getting KO'd next turn. And we're taking a KO already since we're able to find the strong energy. So Zoru is going down and the organic Bridget on the other side for Iyla. What's up, Stellar? How are you, friend?
We're gonna need a nasty top deck this turn.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need a top deck to stay in this. That being said, you have a little bit of time, maybe a turn or two before the game spirals completely out of control. That was for Vaporeon. That's entirely fair. Oh my god, that's the top deck. The Sycamore off the top, and this game is back on. Happy to see it won't just end to horrible dead draw in game 3. Been better. I hope everything's okay. Yeah, I've been pretty good. I'm excited. My girlfriend's coming to town next week. And we got a hype finals here for Riley Searcher number 12. So what more could I want, right? And we got Cal here. PJ did unfortunately have to go be a parent. So we got Cal tagging in. All the TSS love tonight. We love to see it. Are you okay? Oh, I help. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I can help. I'm sorry. Sorry, whatever's going on. But big turn here. Counter catcher taking out the Rockruff.
Huge top deck.
Yeah, I mean you can't even like the Sycamore. That's literally the card. Also worth noting, there is only one Sycamore in the deck for Kara, so literally like 1 in a million top. Not literally, but you know what I mean. But now we're in the situation again where this Buzzwole's in the active. It most likely is not going down. I guess it could get Crossing Cut GX'd now, but that's a little bit awkward. But right where you were talking about, the prize exchange in this game, and well, there's the Enhanced Hammer. Do we take it off the Wimpod? I think off the Wimpod makes the most sense. Yeah, and that's the line spotted by Iyla. Removes that Crossing Cut as an option. But what Cal was saying earlier about the prize trade here, so now this baby Buzzwole is very menacing again, because if you take out the Rockruff on the bench, you play directly into Sledgehammer. So it's kind of this like weird, like, I'm protecting the Rockruff by Buzzwole just existing.
Yeah, this matchup's really interesting. It's really close, actually, too.
Yeah, you look at it on paper, and like, yeah.
I would have to say that it's favored for Iyla, but it's really close.
I think the Buzzwole is what makes it, like, tips it slightly into their favor, because Sledgehammer is just so oppressive and very, very hard for ZoroRoc to deal with. So Roxanne players used to Ultra Beast players. That's true, yes. Alright, so what is the play here? We have Guzma. You could Guzma this Rockruff, but again, you're just playing right into that Sledgehammer. I mean, do you go get a Gliscopod, attach, and Guzma up the Rockruff and just say, hope you don't steamroll me with the with Sledgehammer?
It's really tough. I think it's interesting because, like, if you kill the opposite, you go right into the Sledgehammer, and if you don't, you're just hitting the Buzzwole for, I think, an amount that's not going to knock it out anyway. So I think maybe you just go for it and then try to go for a Gliscopod next turn. But, like, I think you have to Crossing Cut it, don't you?
Yeah, well, and that's where the Enhanced Hammer on the bench instead of the ZoroRoc in the active was a huge play and a great read by Iyla, because you're removing the Crossing Cut as an option. Favorite Ultra Beast?
Avoid it altogether, but it depends on if Iyla drops more one prizers. Because ideally, they would kill the Rockruff here, and then Iyla would drop another one prizer, and then you can just kill that and avoid the Buzzwole altogether.
How do you feel about this play?
That's interesting, because I think that they can just ace a roll of this.
Yeah.
Or they
Why is it
do
possible?
you.
I
And
mean,
if they have a band strong, they kill your only ZoroArc on board.
yeah, this is really risky. I'm not sure I like this play. Because you can actually Acerola and Gust because you can use Lycanroc. So you can effectively... Yeah. I actually don't know what my favorite Ultra Beast is. I don't really like any of them, to be honest. I guess...
Yeah. I think I would have went after that Rockruff.
I think I would say Buzzwole just because I played Buzzrock a lot. So just strictly from TCG perspective, I'd say Buzzwole, but I don't really like any of them. Not really. They're all okay. So the Mallow is played. So that means we're not going to be able to Acerola. There's no Max Potion here, but Floatstone into a Lycanroc to bring up the Wimpod maybe. And yeah, here's the play you were talking about, that Choice Band being able to pick up the KO now with Sledgehammer. And yeah, I mean, this is the problem. Like, you still have to deal with this Buzzwole. Guzzlord. Yeah, Guzzlord's got the best cry. Oh, you know what? Actually, Naganadel. I take it back. Naganadel's really cool. Poipole. Yeah, I guess Poipole. I do kind of like Poipole better than Naganadel, but I think I'm going to stick with Buzz. I'm going to stick with Buzz. Damn it, I'm so shit. Cal, do you have a favorite Ultra Beast?
Xurkitree.
Xurkitree's cool. I do like Xurkitree, yeah. You can tell when I yeah. Uh-huh, yep. Buzz, Ada, Snorlax. What? Buzzwole, Lightyear, yes. Well, Double Puzzle Found is big. Gets you the Crossing Cut this turn. But it looks like we're eyeing down the Counter Catcher. So this is a big play as well. We can Counter Catcher, take out the Lycanroc, and put you down to 3 prizes, which plays around the Sledgehammer. And I didn't even realize, but 3 DCEs in the discard pile for Kara is pretty scary.
Yeah. How many puzzles are down as well? That's the most interesting part as well.
I think it was just the 2. Maybe there's 1 prize, which would be unfortunate. Snorlax straight up deflates. Oh, good luck in the finals of that tourney, Zach, with Luigia. I don't like Blounds. I don't like clowns.
I know Zach likes Blounds a lot.
Blound. Yeah,
Blound.
Zach is a Blound fan for sure. Why am I a coward? All right, so now we're tied at 3 prizes. I mean, this has been such a great series back and forth. Tied at 3 prizes in Game 3 of the finals. There's the trade. So what is the play this turn for Iyla? Now that the threat of the Lycanroc is removed, what is the line?
Really interesting because the Buzzwole's pretty much a non-factor anymore at this point. I don't know how many hammers they're down or how many puzzles they're down. I know they're down a lot of double colorless energy. I know they're at least down 2 puzzle. So theoretically, they don't have a lot of energy left. So Iyla could go against like a defensive route where they just try to protect their Pokemon and get rid of their energy and then go after the Glissopods, or it just depends on like what they see and what they want to do with this turn. I think Acerola is for sure going to play this turn.
I actually like this Guzma though, because you can, if you have you can Guzma up a Wimpod, go down to 2 prizes left, and then you still have the same play we saw to close out the game last game, where you have that swing around potential to take out a ZoroArc.
But I don't know, because they're gonna have to put down a Lycanroc, but they only have 1 bench space, and then it's gonna probably get Guzma upped and killed.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you need the Lycanroc at this point, though? I mean, I guess you get the Rockruff down, and you can attach the Strong to it.
Well, are they gonna go for?
Ah, I like this. So yes, they're. I think they're lining up exactly for that swing around play.
Yeah.
Enhanced Hammer from Kara would be huge here.
Yeah, they need enhanced.
Oh, you love the Merkers? Thank you, Scavenger. Yeah, I realized that it was a lot easier than people being like, who won game 1? What game is this? So, yeah, I definitely added those. And they're like
so
little...
if they're down
Yeah.
hammers. There's a world here where they go N and they go Oranguru.
Yes, that's a good line actually. Put down. They have only one puzzle left. They have a hammer.
But they could, yeah. I think they go Lele for N and they go N and then they send up. But they need a way to pivot it, which kind of.
Is there N in deck though? I didn't see an N.
There, I think.
Was it there?
Yeah, there's 2 N in there.
Like I need to see it with my eyes. Okay. Only
But they need
supporter
to
left
find-
in deck. Yeah. Well, they have a supporter in hand, of course, but. Oh, that makes me so happy, guys. Thanks.
It's tough.
Yeah, so it is really tough though. Like and it's funny because I talked about starting the baby buzz, which was, a little bit annoying, but like it's just been ignored the whole game. And this is like if you ignore the baby buzz, look how much it can come back and hurt you. And this is why I didn't mention it for the YouTube audience, but there were 0 baby buzz garb decks played in this tournament, and I think I'm very surprised to see that because you see how dangerous and strong. I'm making so many puns right now, but how powerful this baby buzz is when you can boost up its damage like you're doing. Even when you don't you don't have the sledgehammer available, you can still hit for damage. Just boosting the base 30 or going in with sledgehammer or with swing around. So it's just swinging this matchup so much. Again, swinging around, so many puns, I can't stop. But here for the caster. Well, thanks, Estrogen. Unless you meant Cal, at which point, leave. But future tourneys, if you join my Discord, I post updates in the Discord as we go along. I usually post new tournament polls and stuff like that. So if you want to join the Discord, !Discord in chat. I think it's actually up there. So hop into the Discord. You can see announcements that way. But here we go. What does Iyla find off of this N? Do we see a Guzma plus energy? I think we would still need the choice band. Could also get us there with a Guzma. I think sledgehammer would do should be exactly enough, I believe. 30 wouldn't be exactly enough. 30, 50, 70. No, we are 10 short again.
Double 30, 50, 70, 71. Yeah, they're 10 short.
So they need the exact same play we saw last time. This time though, it's tough because I guess you can attach energy from hand, so you don't need the multi-switch necessarily, and you do have the Lycanroc.
I feel like I would have liked out to be like maybe even Guzma and then Oranguru. It doesn't feel awful. Because then you get all the hammers back, and then you could just be like, okay, like if your opponent had to DTE or double colorless to retreat, because I know they're down their puzzle, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, they're down 2 puzzle, they're down 2 float. They do have energy left, but like you need a turn where you can go N and hammer away those energy on the puzzle, I think.
Yeah, I think the N though was more important there because we did see the Mallow on the previous turn. I believe that was that turn. So I think the N was really huge, and there's nothing here from Iyla. You just put out some damage on the Golisopod, which is still big. Of course, the max potion in hand. And wow, finding the DCE is huge here too, because now it means we can crossing cut to get this Golisopod out of the active, which was big. That floatstone can't be played since the choice band is already there, so a little bit awkward. So here's the question. Do you crossing cut, or do we just max potion and hope we find a way to move it next turn?
Really interesting. But they could dig for a hammer too if they haven't played the supporter, I don't think. And I know they have 1 hammer left. So it's close. They're gonna definitely probably have to double this energy. Yeah. And they can dig for the hammer here.
Yeah, they can Lele, grab the N, put Iyla down to 2 cards again, so keep them from finding the game-winning combination on the next turn. Really,
it's aren't too awful to find this hammer too, I don't think.
Oh, we did whiff. Have we used the trade yet, though? Yes,
No,
we
they did.
have. Unfortunate. So we have to go for the crossing god here. Just throw up that Wimpod, I think has to be the play.
100.
And
They-
yeah. But this is very scary for Iyla now because that ZoroRoc on the bench is very damaged. And we actually know that Kara already has game in hand with the Ultra Ball to find Lele, and the last Guzma is available in deck. So this is it. This is the final. This is everything right here. It comes down to, does Iyla have the game-winning combination? It needs to be Lycanroc plus Energy. I think we'll do it.
Yeah.
Need to find that with our one trade, and that's another big thing, is that ZoroRoc was taken out in the last turn, so only one trade available this turn. Haven't slammed anything down yet, so does Iyla not have it? There's a blower. Yeah, not having Wimp out is very unfortunate for sure. I'm sorry, Andre. I'm glued to this screen. What do we have? The blower doesn't really do anything. There's the energy, but we can't Ultra Ball. Do we have a supporter? Do we have the Lycanroc? No! Just the Sledgehammer. So that's just going to be game over. Promoting the Lele. Here comes the Ultra Ball for the Lele. Grab the last Guzma that's in deck and bring up the Rockruff, the ZoroRoc. Take your pick. The game is over. And Kara, those back-to-back ends, really strong. Yeah, absolutely. And great run. What a masterfully played finals by both players. Incredible to see that. Very well played on both sides. No shame in losing that close series, but congrats to Kara taking it down with ZoroPod.